And this time we're gonna be making mead. The second thing technically the third thing I've ever fermented. Like everything in my life, I've decided to not do it the easy way. We're gonna be using 4 different kinds of honey. I did more or less sanitize stuff, so I'm gonna be tracking sort of how much of all of the honey we're actually using. I do want to do this more than once, and that way if there's anything that ends up getting completely screwed up, I'll be able to go back into my notes and be like, hold on, wait. Maybe not using honeycomb inside the mead would have been a good idea. I grabbed all the water and everything in the fermenter. It's down there. I just don't want to put it up on the bar just yet because it's super heavy. And I wanted the bar relatively clean at first too. So let me grab all the different kinds of honey that I have really quick. I'm making mead pretty much from scratch. And I've never made mead before. The only thing I've ever fermented before is beer. And I've only done that technically like 1.5 times. So we'll see how it turns out. It's also going to be a little bit different because mead is technically a kind of wine, whereas beer is obviously beer. It's a different process. That's not even all of the honey. There we go. I think that's all of it. All told though, I'm going to need 15 pounds of honey. So there's going to be some math. Get ready for that. Luckily, the actual putting everything in the fermenter and all that, it's not going to take as long as it did when we made the beer, which I also did during a live stream. Really, you just need to add the honey to the water, get it incorporated, stir it up. If you're going to be really technical, you can take a specific gravity measurement so that you can tell how much alcohol you're going to have. And then you pitch the yeast and you put it away, and that's typically what your first day is like. But there's no boiling for an extended period of time. Some recipes will ask you to do that to disinfect and clean the honey, basically. It's not super duper necessary. It's not something that most Vikings and stuff were doing. But what kind of honey are you using? Oh boy, I mean, so many things. In weight, 2, 4, 6, 8 pounds of this raw, unfiltered Wildflower and orange blossom honey. Or no, 10 pounds. Honey. I also have some of this raw honey left over, raw and unfiltered. But this is just your regular Costco brand stuff. But this one I'm gonna have to weigh with the bottle there. So it's 1 pound, 2 ounces. I think these are 1 pound each, honey with honeycomb actually in there. I don't know if that's even advisable to do. It just seemed like something interesting that I figured we could pull off. So the whole thing is going in the bucket. So that's 2 pounds because the net weight on this is 16 ounces, which means I actually have a deficit of honey that I need to fill on this. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it. 13 pounds, I actually need to make up 30 ounces. 30 ounces worth of honey. That honey, which it would be 3 ounces, so we'll just add 3 ounces of miscellaneous honey, 27 more ounces of honey, agave syrup, but I don't know if that's really the same thing. I feel like it's probably not. If I get desperate, then I'll know that I have almost a pound of agave somehow, I guess, down there. But I'll put a question mark here, because I don't know, I might use it, I might not. I wonder if you could use the same process on maple syrup. I don't know if... I didn't come across any articles where anyone had tried, but really quick, I'm gonna put the pot on the induction top really quick. And those of you who haven't seen what the pot looks like when we're fermenting, it's a pretty significant piece of equipment. It's very simple, but it is pretty massive. My back is not ready for this. That's the pot. This has about 4.5 gallons of water in it. You can kind of see inside of it, but not really. And the ratio here, I think, is it should be, I think, a 5-to-1 ratio of water to honey. Let me grab the induction top. Oh boy. If you want to make mead at home, by the way, you don't need to heat it up. I'm just going to heat it up to make it easier to mix all of the honey and stuff in there. Oh god. I don't mean to keep making all of these old man noises, by the way, so I apologize. Now this is a pot. Yes, this is a pot. I'm going to set it to just boil, so it'll bring it up to 210 degrees Fahrenheit. 210 should be just under boiling point, which means that hopefully I don't lose a bunch of water to transference and water vapor and stuff like that. Whew! There's also going to be some other botanicals and stuff that I'm adding in here. So for example, this sort of assortment of spices here. Madagascar vanilla. Some weird stuff in here. There's wormwood. It's a bittering agent. So I feel like throwing all of the wormwood in there would be sick. That'd be super fun. Is it a good idea? Almost definitely not. Am I gonna do it? Probably, definitely, for sure. I have this old honey syrup that I made ages ago. I'm not gonna taste it. That sounds dangerous. Still smells fine. Almost exactly. It's 2 pounds, 3 ounces, which means I might not have to use the agave syrup. Somebody remind me if I forget. I need to remember to weigh some of these containers again when I'm done. Specifically this one, and this one. This is probably what's going to take the longest, is just getting all of the honey to incorporate and mix. I do have a sort of cheat code that I plan on using, and that cheat code is an immersion blender. An immersion circulator will do the same thing. So basically, turn this guy on just to get the water moving around, and then so much honey. The reason you want to stir this if you are heating it up at home is because the honey will stick to the bottom and it could potentially burn. This is not going to be so difficult, and I'm going to have to like wash out some of these containers too. Let's do the ones that I need to remember to remeasure again. Whoop, over here. From what I've seen online, it definitely looks like I'm making mead. Perception is reality, man. Well, that's convenient that it just rests there for now until it breaks. This guy's probably not going to need to really get measured because it's super liquid. This is the syrup that I had already. There we go. That's maybe a better angle for the camera. That's going to be a good thumbnail later. 14 ounces, which means I'm going to have to use the agave is what that means. Whew. All right. 32, so 35 ounces minus 14 ounces for the bottle. What is that? Nerds. 19 ounces? I think, right? Or no, it's 35 minus 14, 21. That looks a lot more correct to me. This is going to be another interesting one. I'll do one more of these random ones. The honeycomb. I'm curious to see if this is actually going to break up the honeycomb itself when you add it in. Oh, this is cool. This is so cool. Okay, it's officially gotten on my hands. Mark the time. It took me 39 minutes and 10 seconds to get honey on my hands. Okay, well, moment of truth. I feel like this is something we're going to want to watch. The honeycomb coming out. Whoop, whoop, yep. That's going to be good having the honeycomb in there too, because now that I'm thinking about it, having some sort of solid substrate in there is going to just help to emulsify everything that's down there already. I'm going to probably need to grab a ladle and kind of do what I did with the beer to get all of the malts out, the liquid malt extract. Next up we have the agave that we're using to supplement some of this honey. It smells good. It smells really aromatic. An immersion circulator, if anyone has, if you just have a sous vide laying around at home, an immersion circulator will do the same thing much better. I should have another honeycomb that I can toss in there. The honeycomb was my favorite part so far, if anyone's wondering. Oh my god, it's so just viscous. Technically this is called the must right now. Where's the third one? Alright, here we go. That's it. Maybe this is the thumbnail? What do you guys think? Am I milking the honey? Yes, I am. Alright, I might make 5 gallons of mead. I might make 6 gallons of mead. Who knows? There is almost definitely still solid honeycomb in here somewhere. It's supposed to make that sound. When will it officially become mead? Technically, you can drink it once you bottle it, but you're better off leaving it to ferment further in the bottle and sort of stabilize. Proof of concept, as long as the must is above room temperature, that means the induction top is doing its job. That's the main thing that I was worried about. And we're going to use this fancy ladle, hopefully. Ladle it back in here. I'm going to shake the hell out of it. So that was 2 ounces of that original weight. Didn't make it into the brew. Which actually works out because the original measurement was that it was exactly 1 pound, 2 ounces. No, I'm not adding yeast until I know that I have all of my sweetener and stuff in there. So that means that we actually have 1, 2, 3, 21 ounces is what? A pound and 5 ounces, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 14. Yeah, I think we're going to end up being a little bit over the 15 pounds, but that's okay. We'll be over by like 3 ounces. I don't think that's going to make or break us. There's a little filter here. You can tell some of the honeycomb it's not going into solution because it's solid, but it's settling up to the top. Have you not got a vaccine yet? Stir it up. It's in a cup. Drinking rainbow. That's all of the sweetener that's gonna go in this. And I can't wipe my hair out of my face because my hands are so sticky. What is mead? Mead is basically wine made with honey instead of grapes. The yeast is actually still out for delivery, so worst case scenario, if the yeast doesn't get here, that's fine. I'll just have to boil this again for 5 minutes and then let it cool before I add the yeast later on. The reason you would boil this for 5 minutes is to clear any bacteria or wild yeasts and kill that stuff before introducing the new yeast in there. There we go. I finally found a way to let that sit up there without falling down. Everybody welcome John Luke! John Luke, pour shots. 1 gallon of mead is like the equivalent of 4 bottles of wine or 12 bottles of beer. Almost 2 cases of wine right here. Pull them up. Oh, I also have a bunch of wormwood.
You gonna add that into your...
I was thinking about it.
Yeah. Oh, God. 3 to 5 weeks with yeast and spices. You then remove the yeast, leftovers, and spices, and let sit for 2 months before bottling.
That's the burp valve, yeah. Waiting for the yeast, mostly.